Hello everyone, my name is Ananya Rajput, a law intern at Lexis and Company. So today I'll be going to talk about spam. Now spam can be defined as unsolicited bulk email or unsolicited commercial email. In either of the cases, it is important to note that spam is unsolicited, which means that there is no prior relationship between the parties concerned and the recipient has not explicitly consented to receive such communication. Now let's see why is spam harmful. First of all, of its content. Now many of the objection to spam relate to its content. Objection to commercial messages which promote dubious ventures and messages that contain sexually explicit material are common claims. However, the single most important objection is as far as messages containing harmful embedded code and hostile the attachments. Second is consumption of internet resources. Now, spam represent a significant proportion of all email traffic, consuming massive amount of network bandwidth, memory, storage space, and other resources. Internet users and system administrators spends a great deal of time reading, deleting, filtering, and blocking spam, as a result of which they pay more for internet access. Third is threat to internet security. Now, spammers frequently tap into simple mail transfer protocol servers and direct them to send copies of a message to a long list of recipients. The third party relying usually represents theft of server because it is an unauthorized appropriation of computing resources. A company's reputation may be damaged if it is associated with spam because of third party relying. Now let's see what are the methods of dealing with spam. First is technical method. The first line of defense against spam normally consists of self-help and other technical mechanisms. These mechanisms can be implemented by individual internet users, ISPs, and other destination operators, as well as by various third parties, some of which specialize in battling spam. Then filtering and blocking. Now, end user filtering and collaborative filtering. End user filtering entails a recipient simply ignoring unwanted messages, while collaborative filtering consists of filtering done by internet service providers and proxy filtering services like Brightmail. Second is blocking. Now, blocking involves enabling destination operators to refuse delivery of spam. Many databases, sometimes referred to as blacklist, as black hole list, internet host frequented by spammers. Now, destination operators can use their database to identify and refuse delivery of selected incoming messages. Then is your hiding from spammers. Now, this process involves concealing email address by the recipients, thus making hard for the spammers. Then the next is opting out. Now, this procedure involves requesting the spammer to remove the recipients from the mailing list. Of all the measures stated above, this is the most effective, as spammers almost never remove a mail address from their mailing list. Now, problem with technical approaches, especially in India, is like technical approaches are unlikely ever to eradicate spam, partially because of the time and resources that spammers devote to their activities and the economies of the scale from which they benefit, and partially because of the inherent openness of the internet and email protocols. Then technical approaches have a deleterious effect and they can have an illegitimate communications. Blocking email traffic from a spam friendly site often means blocking a great deal of legitimate email, for example. Now, modern anti-spam technology is expensive and it further burdens the netizens. There is lack of transparency and accountability. Consequently, spammers continue to act with impunity. Spam legislation is a non-existent in India. The much touted Information Technology Act of 2000 does not discuss the issue of spamming at all. It only refers to punishment meted out to a person who, or after having secure access to any kind of electronic material without the consent of person concerned, discloses such electronic material to any other person. It does not have any bearing on violence of the individual's privacy in cyberspace. the illegibility of spamming is not considered. Now, other content reasoning for introducing comprehensive legislative to curb, control, and penalize spammers are now the Delhi High Court acknowledged the absence of appropriate legislation concerning spam in a recent case wherein Tata Sons Limited and its subsidiary Pantone Finvest Limited filed a suit against McCoy Infosystem Private Limited for transmission of spam. It was held that the absence of statutory protection to check spam mails on internet, the traditional tort law principle of trespass to good as well as law of nuisance would have to be used. With the growing number of internet users every day and the increasing proportion of junk email, it is essential that measures be taken to curb spam before it assumes guaranteed proportions like the United States. With the establishment of the Indian arm of the coalition against unsolicited commercial emails, and some efforts are being made to combat the space menace. However, in the absence of stringent laws and technical advancements, the proliferation of spam seems inevitable. Thank you.